Some fake paintings are so convincing that even experts get fooled, not because they look real, but because everything around them does. The signature feels right, the canvas looks aged, the story makes sense, and that's the real danger. Because in the art world, you're not just buying an image, you're buying a narrative, a chain of belief, a system of trust, built over time, and sometimes carefully constructed to deceive. And once that system is in place, even the most experienced eyes can hesitate, because the question is no longer, does this look real? The question becomes, can I prove that it's not? Part 1. Forgery is not just copying. Most people imagine forgery as imitation, a copy, a fake signature, a quick deception. But real forgery is something else entirely. It's research, it's patience, and it's psychological. A skilled forger doesn't just copy a painting. They study the artist obsessively. They analyze how the artist held the brush, how they layered paint, where they hesitated, and where they moved with confidence. They don't just replicate the final image. They recreate the process. And sometimes they go further. They use old canvases taken from damaged works. They mix pigments based on historical recipes. They artificially age the surface using heat, light, or chemicals. But even that is not enough, because the real value of a painting does not come from the image. It comes from the story. So the forger builds one. Fake invoices, fake gallery stamps, fake collector histories. Sometimes entire identities are invented. Names of collectors that never existed, exhibitions that never happened. And yet, when written convincingly, they become part of the object. This is why some of the biggest fraud cases lasted for years, because they didn't rely on visual deception alone. They relied on systemic trust. And when trust is manipulated, the entire market becomes vulnerable. Part 2. The expert's eye. When experts examine a painting, they don't start with technology. They start with doubt and observation. They look longer than most people, much longer, because what matters is not what you see immediately, but what reveals itself slowly. They examine brushstrokes. Are they confident or hesitant? Do they follow the rhythm of the artist's known works? They analyze composition. Does it feel intentional or constructed to imitate intention? They study the surface. Paint has behavior. It dries in specific ways. It cracks in patterns over time. A fake may look old, but it often lacks the logic of aging. Then comes the signature. Not just how it looks, but how it exists. Was it painted at the same time? Or added later? Does it sit naturally in the composition? Or does it feel placed? Experts also turn the painting around, because the back often tells a different story. Labels from galleries, shipping marks, old frames. These elements are harder to fake convincingly, because they require knowledge, not just of art, but of history. And small inconsistencies become clues. A nail that didn't exist at the time, a label with the wrong typography, a frame style from the wrong decade. These details are subtle, but together, they begin to form a pattern. And in authentication, patterns matter more than impressions. Part 3. Provenance investigation. After the visual comes the historical. This is where authentication becomes investigation. Experts trace the life of the painting. Who owned it? When? Where did it travel? Is it recorded in catalogs? Mentioned in archives? Photographed in exhibitions? A strong provenance is like a continuous narrative. Every chapter connects. But in many fakes, there are gaps. Missing years, unclear ownership, vague explanations. And those gaps are where suspicion grows. Because in the art world, absence of evidence is not neutral. It's risky. Some of the largest art fraud scandals were uncovered not by looking at the painting, but by questioning the paperwork. Fake invoices, forged certificates, invented collectors. Because documentation is often trusted more than the object itself. And when documentation is manipulated, the illusion becomes powerful until it breaks. Part 4. Science enters the process. When observation and history are not enough, science becomes the final authority. This is where art meets forensic investigation. Ultraviolet light reveals hidden restorations. Layers that are invisible to the naked eye suddenly appear. X-rays penetrate the surface and expose what lies beneath. Earlier sketches, corrections, or inconsistencies, pigment analysis can identify materials that didn't exist in the claimed period. A painting attributed to the 18th century, containing modern synthetic pigments, is immediately questionable, and in some cases, even carbon dating is used to determine the age of organic materials within the artwork. Science does something the human eye cannot. It removes interpretation and replaces it with data. And sometimes, that data tells a different story than the one the painting presents. Part 5. Why it's not always clear. And yet, even with all these tools, certainty is rare. Because art is not static. Artists evolve. They experiment. They break their own rules. Materials vary. Techniques change. And records are not always complete. So experts don't always agree. One may confirm authenticity. Another may reject it. Some works remain disputed for decades. Not proven real. Not proven fake. Just unresolved. And in a market built on confidence, uncertainty is dangerous. Because value depends on belief. And belief can fracture. Finally, so how do experts detect fake paintings? Not with a single test, but with layers. They look. They question. They analyze. They verify. They combine vision, history, science. Because in the art world, authenticity is never assumed. It is proven. And sometimes, even that proof is not enough.